Hello everyone, welcome to the live stream. Let's send out the link so everyone knows we are live. And don't forget to like the video so more people can join us. How are we all doing? Ah, we have a new Golden Dawn member. I can't pronounce that at all. Q-A-U-B-C-U 7555. Thank you for joining the Golden Dawn. That is a hell of a username though, but good to have you on board with the members. How are we all doing this Valentine's Day Eve? Do we all have a loved one in the chat, or are we hugging our body pillows tonight? No shame either way. Thought I would do a live stream because I know I've been doing the gaming ones recently, but I do like the casual chatting ones, and I think, yeah, it'd be good to do one of these every week. Just chat about Index or life or whatever. The latter, sadly. Who's your waifu? When I was 16-year-old lad, my waifu was Hatsune Miku, and now it's a very generic one. It's basically everyone's fucking waifu at this point. But I just loved her design and music. I was just head over heels for Miku. I was obsessed for a good 2-3 years. And then I got over her. You're hugging your Yuriko pillow. Damn, I didn't know they had Yuriko body pillows. That is very niche. That's impressive. Is that a custom-made one, or are you just joking? Because I know there was this guy who, I think he commissioned Ebora to make this, like, not Hatsune Miku, this Orphanus, like, design for a body pillow. I don't know. I think he did make that, did he? And I swear there was, like, an Alice Tan one as well. I'm curious to see if those actually became physical objects. Although not too curious, because I don't want to know, hey, oh, what are you doing with that? It's actually a real pillow. I just don't own it. Oh, okay. Might adjust the camera a bit. Not that way. There we go. Cool. No, yeah, that's impressive though. And I do think there's this, going off topic a bit, there is a Toaru Mugen tournament next week, I think. So I might enter that. Although I'm a bit worried maybe because I don't have a wired internet connection, but I do think my internet's good enough, but there were definitely times when I was playing other people on the live stream, if you guys watched that, where like against certain people it was laggy a bit. It was still playable, it wasn't horrendous, but then there was one time where I forgot who I was playing, but he was playing 4 and he activated Almighty and Mjolnir at the same time. I just fucking broke the internet for some reason. I mean, I can understand it because it's a lot of power, but still, you don't want that to happen when you're gaming. What's up, Diddy? Your internet seemed decent enough last time, I'd say. Lag is given when playing people all over the world. Yeah, exactly. It is true. But yeah, I think I mentioned in the previous stream, I basically bought the best internet I could buy in my area. So, like, it's fiber optic. It's pretty good. And I think my Wi-Fi router is downstairs, but this room is literally above the area where my Wi-Fi router's at, so. But as you would say in America, router. My Wi-Fi router with water. Although Americans make fun of the way we say bottle of water. So, it's fine. People pronounce things differently. Hey Aeon, what do you think will happen in GT15? Everyone just wants me to talk about GT. I know people say, oh Aeon, why do you talk about GT all the time? But people want to know. That's a great question because it pretty much ended like the Transcendent thing going on, because they've left Academy City in a similar manner to how Kamisato and his harem left. They've just gone somewhere. I can't remember where they went. I think they might go back to the hideout in the rainforest, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe the Anglicans will take them in, or someone else. I'm not sure. But Yeah, it's an interesting one. I can see, well, what it's building up to is definitely something with Hamazura. I like Hamazura in England. I think we'll get a bit of that because I think he'll be interrogated, obviously, for siding with Kuronzon. But I think from what of course, because Dion's in charge, she might have some sympathy towards him. And I think I do remember reading a line in GT14 where, yeah, they're not going to go like too heavy on him. But at the same time, he is out for revenge. So I can see him coming into conflict with Toma. And Hamazura does have some powerful allies. He has the Magic Gods and he's got Dion. Whether he will approach, I don't know, ASCII or Accelerator and then go against Toma and like convince them, I don't know. Because, yeah, it seems to me that like Hamazura is just fed up of the world. Maybe he will find Fuyama. Maybe he will find where the hell Fuyama is and they'll team up and that's our little crew to try and make a new world. Because I think a lot of Indexes has been about how you approach the world and how to make a better world. And there's been so many characters throughout the volumes where they have tried to create a new world or bring about significant change, but just approached it in the wrong manner. So I can see it going down that route. I'm really curious to see what they do with Alistair, since Alice is back again. He literally cannot die at this point. But yeah, I hope they do something with the Secret Chief soon. I hope we get onto that before the end of this testament. I really want to know what the hell's going on with Iwaz. Yeah, but honestly, Kamachi could just throw another curveball and just introduce an entirely different faction like he did with the Transcendents. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I know it's pretty long-winded, but there's so much to talk about GT. It's crazy. God Key. Mugen to Arunament. Yes, that's the one. To Arunament. Is that how you say it? To Arunament. I don't know. What else are people saying? I like Hamazura, but the plot armor is crazy. Well, you can say that about... I've made this argument before. You can say that about many other action heroes. Like, I don't care how many skills Liam Neeson has in Taken. There is no way he can take on that many guys and be in the right position at the right time, and no one comes around the corner and shoots Liam Neeson. Like, you can say that about so many action movies. There's the suspension of disbelief. But, of course, like, there's varying levels of it. It depends how egregious it is. But... There's so many, and that's what Kamachi was also inspired by with Hamazura, I think, as well. He was inspired by a lot of like 80s and 90s action movies, from what I heard. So there is, you know, you have to take that into account with Hamazura. At the end of the day, like, Index tries to be realistic in some aspects, especially like the geopolitics. The geopolitics of Index is quite realistic to how... Well, I don't mean like current foreign policy, but foreign policy throughout history. But of course, with Index, there's a lot of aspects which are heavily exaggerated and a lot of cliches and that. But I feel like Kamachi owns the cliches and he made some of them himself. And I do think he works well with the cliches that are in the story, because there are many or stereotype characters, you know, tsunderes. I mean, there's basically a girl for every single character trope you can think of. And at the same time, Kamachi's making a commentary on that, because if you've read the Kamisato arc, then you know. What else are people saying? I'm betting there'd be a Terma guilt segment for killing Coronzo. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. Coronzo's interesting because I really like how Terma's developed to that point that he literally has gone that far, where he tried to talk no jutsu her a bit, but he realized he had no other choice. I really like that development for Toma. Like, Toma has just been the absolute MVP of GT. Like, his character is just, wow. He's developed even more than New Testament, I feel. Well, yeah, Coronzon. I know Kamachi doesn't really kill off major characters. I'm still a bit skeptical about Coronzon because I think in a similar manner to Archangel Gabriel, because remember, at the end of World War III, Toma obviously sent Gabriel back to heaven, so I don't know if Coronzon has gone back to the Abyss or Coronzon was in fact weak enough to be killed or to be eradicated by Imagine Breaker. I mean, we know Imagine Breaker is powerful enough, and Coronzon was heavily nerfed in that moment. I mean, she's already nerfed herself to exist in the surface world. And then she was just throwing out crazy-ass spells out her ass when she didn't really have the capacity to do that. So maybe she did get weak enough to a point where she could get destroyed permanently. But at the same time, I don't know if she's been, banished back to the Abyss in a similar manner to Gabriel. Let me know what you think. Did Coronzon die, or is she in the Abyss? Because we all know what Kamachi's like. I mean, we had the Tsushima fake out after all. But I still feel like, regardless if Coronzon's existence is around in the world or not, or the Abyss, I still feel like that doesn't negate, no pun intended, Toma's character no moment. What are your thoughts on Accelerator's Platinum Wings? They need to appear more. I mean, we just need to get Accelerator out of prison first. Yeah, I mean, Kamachi's probably done it for balancing reasons, and of course he's taken Accelerator's character into a direction which is unfamiliar ground, but from how GT14 ended, I feel like, Accelerator is planning something major from GT14's ending, but we don't know what that is. So I feel like all this chaos, that's the only word that you can describe it as, all this chaos which has been happening in Academy City, I feel like, Accelerator's got almost no other choice but to act. And I know he wants to redeem, etc., but let's face it, Accelerator is not going to be there forever and ever in the jail cell. I think he's learned his lesson that, yes, Accelerator, we do need you on the ground, because think about how many world-ending threats Academy City has had in the space of, 2 weeks? Fucking crazy. We need you fighting. I mean, you can go back into your cell and what's the word for it? You can go back in your cell and... I forgot... My vocabulary is failing. I can't figure the word. Where you got dark thoughts and you're coping like how Shadow the Hedgehog does it. I forgot the new word. But you know what I mean. Yeah, you can literally come out the cell, fight, and then go back in. Hi, dude. I used to be in your Amino community. Nice. Back in the good old days. Joking. Amino was a cesspool, but to be honest, without Amino, I probably would not be here doing this, because that's what I started off doing before YouTube, because I was making Toaru blogs there, writing about Toaru, building up a community, etc. So, everything happens for a reason. And I have met some good friends from there, so. And members of the community that I still talk to. The only girl for Excel is Toma Kamijo. I think you mean the only boy for Kuroko is Toma Kamijo. Oh, I doubt she died. It's more so him getting an actual living person kill, actual blood in his hands. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not too unfamiliar territory for Toma. I mean, well, I say that, but obviously he is most known for saving people and the sanctity of life, even though he's not Christian. I mean, he saved Fuyama. He saved Fuyama, of all people, which is absolutely crazy. He could have easily let Fuyama die on a Star of Bethlehem, but nope. He was extremely selfless. That was borderline insane, like letting him have the escape pod and not him. Insane. But yeah, he did have to take out Gabriel as well, to be fair, but yeah. But yeah, he did think about killing the Aureolus dummy, which the anime cut out, of course, even though it's important. Yeah, he did think about killing that, but that was very early memory loss Terma. Literally the first opponent he fought after losing his memory, other than Style for a little bit when they met again. But yeah, and then obviously the dragon situation in Genesis Testament 9. Well, that was more Kamijo no Terma. And yeah, speaking of KNT, yeah, he was willing to kill KNT as well. So yeah, this is not suddenly like out of left field or anything. Diddy, are you drinking tea or coffee? At the moment, I'm drinking tea because, I mean, when I'm in the office at work, I'm just on coffee all the time because tea makes me super sleepy if I haven't had enough sleep, which is most days when I'm working during my week. So, yeah, I need the rocket fuel to stay awake, but, yeah, I'm relaxing. I've got tea. I didn't have too much caffeine today by my standards, so, yeah, nice green tea to relax. Yeah, I know I'm British, so I meant to drink tea all the time, but nah, tea just doesn't do it for me during, like, in the morning, so I need a coffee to wake myself up. When will you read Homestuck? Never. God. Termo Abyss arc? That'd be cool. Although the Abyss is the Abyss, so there's nothing really that exists there other than Corazon, because it's meant to be a void. So I don't know how that would work, but I guess we had Offinus create universes where there was nothing in it, so I suppose it could work, maybe. Who knows? Amino Guild on Imaginary Fest was a powerhouse. Hell yeah. The good old Imaginary Fest grind days. God, we wasted so much time doing those guild wars and shit. Holy fuck. Oh, God. Why is Kuroko so goated? I don't know. I mean, she has the dual aspect to her character. She's got the, you know, sensible side to her, which is, you know, a decent person, and she's got the absolutely unhinged mental asylum version of herself. So I think people like the two sides of her. Well, it depends how it's balanced out, because I know people, well, some people get annoyed by her perverted nature. I also think her power is cool. I like her design as well. Kuroko is cute, even though she is crazy. It's canonically. Oh my god. You remember the Toaru? Is that Toaru out of context, or one of those meme videos I did where I featured that joke, the pro-life Toma? Oh my god. NT8 Terma was absolutely wilding, but we're not going to go into that. We're not going into that. Yeah. Well, it's still funny to make a joke out of, because people know it's a joke, but yeah. We won't go into politics or anything like that. I think enough of the internet is like that, and yeah, the internet can be quite toxic when that happens. I just want to make content about Index. Like, whatever beliefs you have, they're none of my concern, and my belief shouldn't be your concern. Obviously, if you idolize content creators and think of them as absolute saints who share whatever belief you may have, then you are only going to disappoint yourself. But I will remain a balanced person. And, yes, I mean, I will talk about politics if it's historical. Especially in relation to Index, and Index does have politics in it. It is you know, basically like a neo-Cold War between magic and science. And as someone who studied history, I can appreciate that and talk about that in some detail. But, yeah, when it's like modern current affairs, hell no. Hell no. Of course he's drinking tea, he's a Brit. Yes, well, not English breakfast. Green tea is the best. Yeah, it's good. I haven't had green tea in a while. I basically nicked this from a hotel. This is one of the free samples you get in a hotel. Because I'm such a scrub, I just nick all the fucking coffee and tea samples you get. Hey, gotta make the most of it. But yeah, green tea is the most. Is it like the most? Has the most health benefits to it, or something like that? I think. Right, I think I read that somewhere. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Dreamcaster 560. I self-insert myself onto Toma. That sounds kind of wrong. But I get what you mean. But why would you want to self-insert as Toma? His life sucks. I know people want to... Yeah, no, it's the idea of being a hero. I get that. And obviously he gets a lot of female attention and a lot of girls love him. Which is... You could say that's... well, that's the easy way to say he's just a self-insert character or whatever for people to imagine themselves as. But his life is just fucking crazy. Like, he has literally no time for himself. He's literally hospitalized every single day or week. And he's not really interested in any of the girls that are chasing after him. He's got priorities. He doesn't have time like Hamazu's got time to date a girl he likes. Or I mean, he likes door managers, but I don't think any door manager girls are going to get with him because clearly he's a student. So yeah, he's not really... You could say, oh, I want the female attention or whatever, but he's not really... I mean, it results in him getting, like, bitten or electrocuted most of the time, and he can't really make the most of it anyway, or what people would deem as making the most of it. So, I don't know. I personally wouldn't like to be Toma. I mean, Imagine Breaker's cool and all, but yeah, his look's terrible. I mean, especially in the light novels, oh my god. Well, no, I guess you can imagine yourself in Toma situations, or like compare yourself to him in terms of his look or his struggles. Maybe I don't know. So yeah, no, I think automatically the reader of any book like tries to find common ground with the main character, and then maybe, oh, how would I react in this situation? Maybe I wouldn't be able to stand up to offerness like Toma would be able to. Maybe I would not have the willpower to do that. Stuff like that, or you know, how scared you would be to fight Accelerator, or maybe or thinking, oh no, it'd be. I wish I had the courage like Toma to be able to, you know, stand up to against Accelerator or whoever, you know, stuff like that. I can understand that. That's natural. Delua, did you read the Date Life series? No. I've seen season 1 of the anime, and it was okay. I mean, it's yeah. I feel like Data Live is more stealth-inserty than Index in terms of like, yeah, it's basically a dating sim, but real life, and it's basically, oh, you have to make the girl fall in love with you to get the win. Or am I thinking of the world God only knows? I think both of them quite similar concepts, but obviously Data Live's more action heavy. What percent chances Spider-Man would survive in Toaru series universe? Depends where he's at. I mean, if he's in Academy City, I think it would be fine. Well, it depends who he's against. I think as you know, if he went up against Accelerator, I think he's in big trouble. But you know, Accelerator's one guy in a city of like 2 million people, so the likelihood of that. But Depends if, yeah, well, he'd be like kind of like gun her if he sees any trouble in the city. He'd get involved. Obviously, he'd be going around saving people like Toma would be. So yeah, in one of the big like arcs where Academy City's like in danger, then I think depending on who he's against, he would struggle. But otherwise, normally he'd be fine. I can't really imagine him in the magic. You know, the magic side. Kyo's World. I want to rewatch and give Toaru another chance. How can I go about it? Okay, so I don't know your experience with Index and Railgun, but I can somewhat relate to you because when I watched Index, I was not the biggest fan of it. And you might be thinking, what? That's impossible. I mean, look at you. You've got a whole fucking channel dedicated to it. You're obsessed with it. And there's good reason for that. So, yeah, the only character I really liked in Index was like Accelerator and maybe Last Order because they've got that relationship. Everyone else was kind of like, whatever. I didn't really understand like where the story was going. A lot of the concepts and that and the fan service and etc. And a lot of the characters felt generic. It's easy to watch Index and think it's just a generic harem series with like really wacky concepts. And then you go over to Railgun, and Railgun Season 1 is well, it's there's some good parts of Railgun Season 1. I mean, there's some good parts in Index Season 1, but Railgun Season 1 is more slice of life. It's very moe. It's got some action scenes, and it's got some like deep moments to it with the Kiyama stuff with the human experimentation and everything, the dark side of Academy City and how that contrast from the light. But there's a lot of just absolute slop in Railgun Season 1. It's just, oh my god, there's just so much like the non-canon arcs and that. I like Big Spider, but the other ones are just, ugh, god. So I can only imagine maybe you can relate to some of that. But what I would do if I were you, like, I don't know if you're willing to read the light novels, but I highly recommend reading the Index light novels if you can. And maybe you've never read a light novel before, I don't know, but give it a chance, because the light novels made me just click. Like, I did not really understand Index at all. I thought I did. I thought I understood Index, this generic harem series. Oh, and it just needs to have more Accelerator in it. What's all this magic stuff in? Like, I literally skipped the Ice Boat arc to get to Accelerator, and I was like, give me more of him. Like, he's fucking cool, and he's got good character development. Like, everyone else sucks, or is mid. Like, the magic arcs are just boring, and I don't really understand any of it. Like, magic just sucks as a power system. Then I read OT1, and I, you have Terma's internal thoughts, and his relationship with Index, and like Style and Kazaki and their past with Index and their motivation, and all of a sudden it just clicked and all of it felt more fleshed out, and I could understand the emotions of the characters and why they're doing this, and the magic system, the lore, it just all came together, and Toma no longer felt like a generic character, because there was so much going on in his mind. And you understand the significance of his memory loss, because people think, oh, we hardly got to spend any time with this character. Why did he lose his memories? It's because he basically traded places with Index. He had to sacrifice that part of him to save Index, because Index was going to lose her memories. But by saving her, he ends up losing his. And then he doesn't have that relationship with Index anymore. Much like how Index lost that relationship with Style and Kanzaki. It's all interconnected. And that is the bond between Index and Toma. They basically trade places. And much like Index was then humanized by Toma after losing her memories. Because then Style and Kanzaki got gaslit by the church to then treat her as an object when they previously humanized her. Because her name's literally Index. She doesn't have a human name. She's literally the Grimoire Library. She's not human. And that's why Fuyama just calls her the library. He does not give a shit about Index's humanity. But Toma, he reignites that hope, and then humanizes her like Kanzaki and Style once did. And then after Toma loses memories, then he has to discover who he truly is. He has to think, who actually am I? And how do I make it up to this girl who I'm meant to have saved? And he has to become the best version of himself. That's who he deems that he has to be. Because he didn't know who he was like beforehand. He could have been a terrible person. He doesn't know. So that's his way of coming to terms with it, and that's how he forges his new identity. So it's all about identities. It's all about like deep characters and relationships. That is what I absolutely love. And this is just the first arc. Like, the first arc was just meant to be a one shot. That was meant to be one and done with Index, but it turned into this huge franchise, and I was like, wow, I just can't wait. And then you get all the build-up arcs, OT1 to OT12, and then you get to the God's Right Sea arc, which is more of a continuous story. So you get episodic, and then you get the continuous story towards the latter half. And it all culminates together in World War III. And I read World War III for the first time. I was just blown away how every single aspect from the previous arcs were all woven into the climax of all OT. Like, it's absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. And that is what turned me into this fucking crazy rambling fan that you're seeing right now. So I would say that. But if you... Well, sorry for rambling, but if you can't read the light novels for whatever reason, then I recommend you watch Railgun Season 2, aka Railgun S. Watch the first 16 episodes of that. That is arguably the best part of the Toaru anime, and then watch all of Railgun T. If you don't like that, then might not be for you, but hey, Index isn't for everyone, and Railgun's not for everyone, so... But yeah, Index anime is hit and miss. I'm starting to appreciate it more, but I think it's more so because I have that knowledge. I know the characters because I've read the novels, and I feel like it can be too much for like anime onlys when they watch Index, and it was for me. So there we go. Now I can read chat again after going off on one. This is what I'm like. But also, I'm talking quite a bit about what I just talked about in my upcoming video, which is about style. True, I do relate. Wow, I didn't get this feeling watching Toaru Season 1. Yeah. I mean, when you read the novels, obviously, people read it for different things. A lot of people read it for, like, the power scaling, like the crazy-ass Esper powers. And I get this impression a lot with GT, because people are like, oh, when's the Accelerator getting out of prison? They want to see certain things, and they don't tend to look deeper into the characters. I'm not saying that's everyone, but I feel like a lot of the stuff I say about Genesis Testament, I'm not trying to sound like, oh, I know better than everyone else. Everyone's got their own interpretation of Index. Like, don't take my opinion as gospel or whatever. Like, you come to your own opinions about Genesis Testament or whatever testament you're reading. But I try and see what Kamachi's going for, and at the same time, I tend to read between the lines and see, this is my interpretation of his character, and it's not headcanon. This is, it's art, and everyone comes to their own interpretations of art, but at the same time, there is a lot of substance there for you to then draw off and then build your own conclusions about certain characters. So I will say that, but obviously what I said can be seen if you look at the events, and if I'm wrong, then please tell me, guys. If I'm chatting shit about Term and Index's character, am I making them deeper than they actually are? I don't know, but that's the impression I got, and that's how I view like a lot of the characters in Index. But yeah, Koroko Diddler. Destroyer creator, anime Toaru has too much going on in a span of minutes. The novels actually lets you take everything. Yeah, exactly. You read at your own pace. And to be fair about like the index novels, there are, especially in the build-up volumes like OT 1 to 12, there are moments where the story can drag a bit, where it's a bit slow-paced. But I mean, you could say that that's a negative, but I feel like it is to the benefit of the reader if they're willing to have the patience to get through it, because yes, you're more willing to take the details in. You're more willing to take your time and try and understand the lore, the magic side, the science side, why things are in a certain way, the deeper meaning of things, like the hidden meaning of things. Like, think about like how many plot points or characters there are on Index that have like a hidden meaning inside. It's crazy. I mean, you have Terma with Imagine Breaker, which has a hidden meaning. Academy City has a hidden meaning. Index appears like a really happy, energetic girl, and then underneath she's this stoic grimoire library who's basically, when she goes into the robot library mode, John's pen mode, she loses that aspect of her humanity. That is when she becomes the robot. That is the church's design. That is the church's design for Index, and that is what gets exposed when Terma tries to save her. She basically becomes what Laura wants her to be, which is this robotic, almost. Like in Index manga, she appears a little bit demonic, which is noted by like, I think Kamachi or someone else. But yeah, that she loses the capacity to make relationships. That is what the church has done to her. So the OT1 is just fucking brilliant. Like I need, I've wanted to make a video on OT1 just alone for a while. I need to make a video about why it is like a masterpiece. But obviously I've got so many video ideas that I could make videos forever, but obviously it's time and priorities and that. Is the Toaru community still big in the East? Yep, it's still pretty big. I mean, Railgun T did very well in China. And got a lot of money and a lot of viewership. When will Season 4 Railgun come out? We don't know yet. You'll hear it from me first. So subscribe if you haven't already. NT8 animated will go viral on Twitter, maybe? Oh, yeah, 100% would. Well, unless it has index-free animation, then it wouldn't. Ofteness was mentioned in a Brazilian non-otaku channel. In what context? Are we talking about the YouTuber Ofteness, right? Or are we talking about the character? I'm assuming it's the YouTuber. Because why would a non-otaku channel talk about Ofteness, the character? I don't know. OT1 is still my favorite volume in the series. That's fair. I mean, mine is still probably Old Testament 22, because I just think it's, from start to finish, it's just perfect. There's not a single moment in it where I think, nah, get rid of that. There is just no fluff. There's no fucking scene like in New Testament 22R where the girls are changing into their dresses. There's none of that. It's just pure peak. And even in New Testament 18, I love New Testament 18, but there's just moments in that volume where it's just fluff and you can just get rid of it and it wouldn't change anything. And it's just great from start to finish. You think Academy City Invasion arc was a good adaptation? Yeah, it was. I mean, I think that's arguably one of the best Index arc adaptations in the anime. I would have liked to have seen more, graphic violence with the accelerator scenes, like against the Hound Dogs. I think that was a missed opportunity. Well, no, beat for beat, we did a solid job, and it's not like Vento. I mean, her character is. Well, I will say one thing that annoys me at the end of that arc, which they should have included, is that Heaven Canceller co-founded Academy City with Alistair. The fact they omitted that pisses me off. That's really important for the lore. So that conversation was cut short. But other than that, yeah, solid job, and the animation was really good, especially in the Tomo Vento fight. I think that fight looks a lot better than a lot of the Index 3 fights, which is painful to say. Because I was expecting, all the fights to be that quality in Index 3 with, being so many years later. But, nope. Anime missing Oriole's dummy in OT2 was weird. Yeah, they probably saw it as he fights Orioles anyway, so why include the dummy? But it is actually important for Terma's character, and style does get to be cool for once. But yeah, whatever. Sometimes though. Wished there was bits of story that go over how long it took the dark side of Academy City to make anything that's shown, like the 5 overs. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, Academy City's probably just got a load of plants and robots that just make other robots at this point, so I don't know. Context, the video is about wrong god representations in pop culture. Ah, okay. Interesting. That's crazy. Curious what the channel actually is. So if you let me know, that'd be appreciated. Or if it's in Portuguese, then I'd have to have subtitles on, but... Dreamcaster, tell us a story, Aeon. About what? about... give me a topic about Index or about life, about what? About my past. I mean, I'm not going to go into personal details, but let me know what. I need a topic. The Ronker, have you ever watched Demon Slayer? I've watched season 1. If yes, do you like to compare Accelerator to Sanemi? I don't know who that is. Is that one of the Hashira? Or is that one of the demons? I do not know. I do not know. Dark Aeon backstory. Dark Aeon. Is that my alter ego? What? Is that my edgy self? But I already am edgy. No, I'm not too edgy. So I have my moments. Everyone has their edgy moments, but... I am an optimist at heart. I like to think happy thoughts. No one likes to think bad thoughts. If we get a New Testament anime, do you think we will have a new director? Possibly. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if Nishikiori will be like after the abuse he got for Index 3 and obviously the studio or production problems with Kadokawa only giving him 2 more episodes. I don't know if he would want to go through that again. So, yeah. Is it Nagai who's the Railgun director? Was that a manga? Yeah. I don't know if Nagai would... Nagai. Sorry, my pronunciation sucks. I don't know if Nagai would want to do it, the director of Railgun. I mean, it's a lot easier to adapt a manga than a light novel, for sure. Oh, he's the Wind Hashira. I don't know. What does he look like? Sanemi. Oh, him! The angry guy. I don't know his backstory, but yeah, I remember him being angry. That's all I remember him. Yeah, I don't know if he compares to Accelerator or not. I don't know enough about him. I just remember him being angry and having crazy muscles. How good of an adaptation would you say the Index manga is compared to the anime? Because I've been thinking about trying out the manga. So the thing with the manga is, like, I made a video on it, but it was kind of oldish. So the art for the Index manga is, well, it starts off like pretty bad, honestly. Like the art for the manga initially is kind of mid, and then it does skip the Deep Blood arc and the Angel Fall arc to get to the Misaka arcs quicker, which is very controversial and I absolutely hate as an Index purist myself. That being said, it does add some backstory moments. It adds, you get to see stuff in the manga you don't even get to see in the novel. Like, you get to see a bit of Index's backstory of Style and Kanzaki, and you get to see a bit of, is it Oriana's backstory as well? Like, yeah. But slowly but surely, around about, I don't know, Ice Boat arc, so around about OT 11, which is season 2 of Index, by the way, the art gets pretty good, and after that, it gets absolutely amazing. Like, Chuya's art is possibly the best art in Toaru at the moment. He's probably better than Haimura, and I never thought I'd say that, because I thought Haimura improved drastically, but Chuya is a fucking god. I mean, it helps that the next manga is monthly, but Chuya has improved, like it's insane how much he's improved, and he literally only does like the next manga. I don't think he works on anything else, which blows my mind as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Chuya has any other projects. Like, it's nuts. So yeah, just look at like the recent chapters of Index for the manga, and you'll just be blown away. Like the fight scenes especially, like, wow. So if you want to see what Index 3 would look like if it was actually, you know, given justice, then read the manga. Read the Index 3 arcs for the manga. And to be fair, like, you don't get all the details that you would get in a novel, but the plot, like, it's good. The only problem is skipping those 2 arcs, which is really annoying, but everything else is presented pretty well. It's a solid adaptation. Definitely a better adaptation than the anime, apart from obviously skipping 2 arcs again, but even the anime's changed the Deep Blood arc and the Angel Fall arc for some reason. So yeah. Your dark side is Aeon no horrors. Yeah, Kamijo no Toma. I wonder why Kadokawa treated the next anime so harshly. Yeah, well, I wonder too. I mean, it's just annoying because they know Railgun makes more money and they put more assets towards that. I don't want to say give the, you know, the budget, what do you call it, trope. Because, you know, a lot of people say, oh, well, this anime should have had more budget, and then it's like, oh, well, it did have a decent amount of money into it. Maybe it's just the staff didn't have enough time to work on it. It's like, yeah, I get the point. But whether assets, whether that's money, budget, manpower, production, whatever, it's just not with Index. It's not. they give that to Railgun. And Index should be treated a lot better because it is the best, well, was the best-selling light novel of all time for like a decade, which is nuts. Over a decade even. So yeah, it deserves a lot more, and I feel like the way Index has been treated is why it's not, you know, as popular in the West as it could be. Nogi's art is cool, but the shape of the faces he makes are kind of weird to me. Fair enough. Tell us a story about how a young prodigy became orphaned. What's that reference to? I don't know what you're talking about. Do you get irritated by how the mental art manga wants to put Yori in everything? I mean, we were used to that in Railgun, let's face it. Or the Railgun anime, I should say. Doesn't really bother me. I think Nogi's doing a good job with the mental art manga, to be honest. I'm enjoying the mental art manga. Have you ever wondered if Alice's plan ever just works off luck? Like the destruction of the tree diagram? And how it helps spreading out the sisters with the project's failure? I mean, he could have sabotaged the tree diagram if he really wanted to. I'm sure Alice could have found another way to accidentally destroy it if he wanted to. But yeah, it was more an inconvenience for Misaka, and then with the Iwaki situation, I feel like Alice's plan with or without the tree diagram would have been fine. Spreading the sisters out, I mean, it helped cover up his intentions, I suppose, but no, he still would have been able to spread the sisters out, I think. Yo, is that Kocho? Hell yeah. Nice to see you here. Would you ever draw one of the characters? My drawing isn't very good, so probably not. Why, do you think I'm some kind of artist? I feel like Index was pretty popular in the West in the early 2010s. Yeah. I mean, I became a fan around 2014. You know, it's popular, but it's not, yeah, the most popular. I mean, it's popular for a genre, let's say. But I feel like anime of Index's genre rarely get popular nowadays. Like the battle light novel harem kind of things. I mean, you've still got like Danmachi and Data Live that still get new seasons, but yeah. I mean, it's more pure isekai, isn't it? Would you like a Toaru series virtual reality game on MetaQuest VR headset? I mean, to be honest, I would like any new Toaru game. But if we got that, then I would have to get VR because I'd want to play it. I would. But to be honest, I just prefer traditional games. I'm not crazy over VR. Just give me a controller. I don't need to wear a headset. Nah. I'm too old-fashioned. Is Railgun a Yori? Not really. I mean, it's more Yori bait. The characters have Yori interactions, but it's not Yori romance. Like, if you're expecting characters to date each other, no, it's just like the characters basically tease each other in Yori bait ways. They kind of flirt with each other. I mean, I say flirt with each other. A lot of the time it's one-sided, and they just go, yeah, it's it. Like Uiharu when Uiharu gets her skirt flipped, you know, or like Kuriko when she tries to do all sorts of stuff to Misaka, like she just gets electrocuted. It's like, so yeah, that's the kind of Yori you get. So I don't really count that. Hope you enjoyed the ASMR, that Aeon Railgun Yori bait ASMR. You are most welcome. Do you think the index anime was Isekai? Kadokawa would probably milk it. Maybe. Well, I feel like the whole point of Isekai are that they're quite easy to understand. For the most part. I mean, a lot of Isekai are very, you know, they throw like random concepts into ChatGPT, and then you get like a crazy ass title at the end of it. I know not all Isekai are like that, but a lot of them are, let's face it. A lot of them are just like, oh, I wonder what would this happen if you put this into a new world, or wow, what would happen if a vending machine was sentient and was sent to a new world? Wow, what would happen if you were reincarnated as this and that? And wow, what if we already, you know, what if the demon lord was already defeated? What would happen then? Like, it's just all like, you throw concepts into a bin. It's like, wow, how does this play out? It's also, wow, it's just, you know, like eating your popcorn. It's like, wow, oh, that's funny gag. Haha, yeah. Like, that you know, how vending machine man is getting cute girls are touching the vending machine man and trying to get some soda out. I don't know. It's just stuff like that. Of course, there are isekais that have an actual story, like ReZero, but a lot of it is service level entertainment. Let's face it. There's not like Index where it's like, I mean, there is surface level entertainment of Index. Don't get me wrong. There is, you know, the fan service and that, the brain dead moments. But there's, if you read the books, then you know that it's not all that. A lot of it is, you know, you have to pay attention. New fan here, just finished binging all of Index and Railgun. Nice. Plan on reading the light novels soon. Would you recommend starting from New Testament or the beginning? The age-old question. So, if you want the true, like, full, complete experience, then I recommend starting from OT. You might think, well, I've already watched it, so what's the point? But you'll get a far deeper understanding of the characters, the world, etc., and you will appreciate it a lot more. And obviously, the light novel's a lot better than whatever the hell Index 3 was. You'll be able to understand the plot. And also, there's details which the anime obviously didn't include, especially in the second volume and the fourth volume. But if you feel like, well, I would highly recommend you start from OT. But if you really just want to get onto New Testament because you want to see Offinus or whatever, I don't know, then fair enough, because New Testament, it gets to peak quicker than Old Testament. I don't get me wrong. I think the early volumes of Old Testament are really good, but there's like that middle patch where you get around the Dice arc and the ice boats, and it's like, this is getting kind of repetitive. You guys know what I mean if you read the light novels. There's that awkward patch before you get to the God's Right Seat stuff. New Testament doesn't really have that. So, and obviously the content's fresh, so you might enjoy it more. But so it depends if you have the patience for it. Up to you. But either way, I made like a video about the reading order. If you're curious, just type in like how to read Index and Railgun, something like that. It'll pop up. So there you go. The only isekai I actually watched was Konosuba, and that is peak comedy. You know what? I watched season 1 of Konosuba, hearing that it's funny, and I think I counted how many times I laughed. I laughed like 3 times. maybe I know it's like a parody of like D&D and the genre, etc. But yeah, I mean, it was okay. Like, it wasn't terrible, but I was expecting to laugh way more. Like, maybe I just like the crazy humor more. I don't know. Like, I think like Golden Boy is hilarious. I think, some other comedy anime I find really funny. Like Daily Lives of High School Boys is funny. Panty and Stocking is funny. Welcome to the NHK is funny in the dark comedic places. I don't know. Detroit Metal City is one where it's like really edgy. Like, it's got really dark humor. I mean, it definitely would not be made nowadays. But yeah, it jokes about some serious stuff. But that is pretty funny at times. Second season is funnier. Okay, I probably missed out then. Do you think you can beat Toma in a fist fight? Against the dragons? No. Well, you're saying fist fight, of course, so there's no dragons. Toma's endurance is crazy, but I do have a martial arts background, so I got similar. Well, probably not as skilled as Motoi, but I do have that to my locker. But I know Toma punches like a tank, and he can take a lot. I don't know. At the end of the day, he's a fictional character who can do anything he wants almost, so. Is Kuroko a lesbian or just a Misuka sexual? What a question. I mean, from what we saw when... I mean, we do have, like, their backstory at the moment in the Railgun manga, so that'll be interesting to see how it spans out. I'm not caught up to date with it, so I can't really comment on that yet. I need to catch up with Railgun. But from how she acted when she lost the memories, because Shokuho temporarily erased them, it seems like Misuka was indeed her awakening to that side of things. And she only really has eyes for her. I don't know if... Yeah, I mean, she's been rejected countless times and she still only really likes her One-sama, so maybe she is just Misuka sexual, I don't know. She never acts as weird around any other girl, yeah. Grand Blue. I've heard great things about Grand Blue. I remember when the anime wasn't even out and some guys I know read the manga and they said, you need to read it. I do want to read it at some point. Is the anime better than the manga though? Or what? Oh yeah, it reminds me. GTO is funny, yeah. Great teacher, Nizuka. I like that as well. ReZero plagiarized Toaru so hard Kamachi should sue? Really? What aspects? Are you talking about like the Subaru stuff where he keeps getting revived? When did ReZero come out actually? I swear it was like... No, I don't mean the anime, I mean like the web novel. April 20th, 2012. When did New Testament 9 come out? That's when New Testament 9 came out. Yeah, it came out like 2 years later. So what are you talking about? I mean, Index is very influential, so I wouldn't be surprised if it took some things, but I don't know. Devil Shooter. I don't read the novels. Is Alistair the main villain, or is he just the villain out of circumstance? So, Alistair is a very interesting character, especially if you're caught up to date. But if you don't mind spoilers, I mean, I won't go into too much. But so I view Alistair as the overarching antagonist of the entire franchise because he is the common antagonist that appears in appears or is referenced in all spin-offs of Toaru. He is present because he is the board chairman of Academy City and he's behind basically most of the bad stuff that happens in the city in some shape or form. Is he a villain out of circumstance? What do you mean by that? Do you mean he just so happened to become a villain? Like he didn't want to go down that path, but did in the end. Because yeah, I mean, Alistair was a product of his environment and upbringing. He had a very difficult childhood. He was basically ostracized by all his loved ones. And he struggled to fit in to the society at the time, which had drastically differing beliefs to what he believed in. So then he tried to pursue the knowledge of the world itself. And yeah, Alistair, he had a very tragic life. It was just tragedy after tragedy. He found out his unborn child that he was meant to have was fated to die. Yeah, and he was basically cursed to a life of failure. His first wife basically went insane and became an alcoholic and went to a mental asylum. Yeah, Alistair had a really rough life. And yeah, you could say that, you know, all the hardship he faced in his life, that's what made him want to create a fairer world. Because at the end of the day, Alistair does a lot of bad stuff, but he's trying to bring about a fairer world. But the way he goes about it is hypocritical and bad, because he hates the magic gods, but yet he acts like a god in his own city. I mean, people don't go and worship him or anything, but he basically made a temple where he's trying to summon scientific angels, and he's like Big Brother. He's watching everything that happens in the city. He's overseeing everything. He's the architect of almost everything that happens in the city. But Alistair views it as a necessary evil to bring about a world with equal opportunities for all, because he doesn't want people to suffer the same fate as his daughter did. He wants everyone to have the opportunity in life to succeed, or equal opportunities. Everyone has got a fair chance to follow their greater purpose in life. But at the same time, Alistair is doing it. He's not doing it because he really wants to help others. he might say he does. He might say, no, I do want to bring about the pure world because it is for the benefit of the world. But ultimately, he is driven by his personal loss. He is driven by personal factors. Because Lilith, his daughter, he loves her more than anything. I mean, his goals are not evil. Wanted to create the OG world, and others not wanting that. Yeah, he's restoring the original world. I mean, it's the case with majority of villains in the Index. Majority of the villains in Index aren't, they have noble intentions. They want to create a fairer world or bring about good or what they deem will do so. They just approach it in the wrong way, and they're basically radicalized, and they believe their own bullshit, which is the significance behind Toma and Imagine Breaker, because Imagine Breaker destroys illusions. It's destroying the illusion that they have. Their illusion, their fantasy of how they gaslight themselves into thinking this is the right path, willing to cut corners and do bad things in order to bring about good. Imagine Breaker strips away all that, and that's why a lot of the villains in Index, after they get punched, they then turn good because their illusion has been broken. That is the significance behind that. It's not like a coincidence that Kamachi writes like this. So yeah. And also, like, Alistair was also gaslit. He was, not only was he a product of, I made a video on this, by the way, guys, like, the fourth hero. Alistair was gaslit by Iwaz a little bit. And he never had the opportunity to become, like, a hero. He... Like every stage of point in his life, he just faced darkness, which is, and I think Alistair was severely depressed, like after his, after he faced his death and founded Academy City, where he was just alone in the tube all day. He literally made like the inside of the windowless building like full of his previous failures to motivate him. But imagine how depressing of an existence that must be. You literally you alienate Heaven Chancellor, who's meant to be your friend. You're literally inside a tube all day. You're manipulating everyone in the city. You have no like loved ones or warmth. You're just preserving your own and extending your own life force. You're just observing everything, and then you're just surrounded by all the tragedies that happen in your life. Like Alice's mental state must have been like horrendous, and I think he just believed that he could never be a hero, and he was just destined to go down like the point of no return. But Iwaz made him believe that he lacked the qualities of a hero. He could never be a hero. He couldn't be like Turbo Accelerator or Hamazura. He could never be that. But actually, he did have that inside him the entire time. He did have that capacity. But because of everything that happened in his life, he went down that path. He went down that path of darkness where he believed he was irredeemable. And yet, he started to embrace love again, eventually. Alistair is just the best character in Index. He's just incredible. You think we'll get a Dengeki Fest this year? Yeah, I think so. I think that's possibly when we'll get more news on the Toaru anime coming. Fingers crossed. Did you notice that all the Japanese Toaru fans all converted into Blue Archive? I didn't know that. I'm out of tea, but I need water. Been talking for over an hour. It's been good. How many viewers do we have, by the way? Mute this. $27. That's not too bad. Not bad at all. Heaven Chancellor is his day one, but didn't want to have him around. Yeah, I guess so. We don't know why exactly they started to fall out, because initially they seemed to be friends at one point from their conversation, but yeah. Although, like, Heaven Chancellor recently appeared in the Mental Art manga in the flashback where he was in the Windowless building and communicated with Alistair directly, not over the phone. So this, I don't know if that, like, Alistair's treatment of the previous number one might have been the nail in the coffin, pun intended. That made Heaven Chancellor like distance himself and think of him as like Alistair thinking of him as an enemy, or vice versa. Which American genre of music do you think Misaka, Toma, and Accelerator would enjoy the most? That's an interesting question. American genre. Well, I mean, are there like explicitly American genres of music other than like country? Unless we're talking about like, Native American music. But yeah, the only purely American genre of music I can think of is like country. Am I wrong? Or are there like other country music? Well, I guess jazz originated in America, right? From like African Americans, didn't it? Yeah. My music history is terrible. Yeah, but I could envisage Accelerator being into like, I want to say emo, but no, I could see Accelerator on some like heavy metal or something like that. Toma's more like classic rock, I guess. Misaka, electronic music, I guess. Kind of like Flipside. Maybe they're talking about other Americas and not only talking about US. Ah, yeah. Latin music, yeah. Reggaeton? Or was that in, like, outside America? No, it's like Latin music, isn't it? My music knowledge is terrible. I listen to listen to specific stuff, but I do listen to some variety. But that's cap. At the moment, I just listen to Eurobeat, honestly. Eurobeat is just... I just get bored of other music now. I just love listening to Eurobeat, like listening to it on my way to work or driving back. Like it just hits different when you're trying to survive on the motorway and you're just listening to Eurobeat. It's honestly my commute to work is fucking crazy. Like the motorway gets so fucking busy, like it's crazy. So it's literally like I'm trying not to die like every day. And Eurobeat just lets me concentrate like super hard, and then at the gym like it goes hard, like listen to a workout. And if I want to listen to some music while I'm editing, like Eurobeat just makes me work faster. It just fits everything for a fast-paced life like mine. But I do like Steely Dan. I like some classic 70s. What is the Imagine Breaker ceiling exactly? So it's more so Terma's arm, but like they are interlinked. So a lot of people say, yeah, it's Terma's arm that is sealing the entities inside. But Imagine Breaker does have a link to it as well. As we saw that when Imagine Breaker was reaching his limit, then the fish eggs were coming out, so... Oh, and KNT, of course. So the comments, yeah, that obviously I was made as well, saying that the invisible thing had grown since last time. Skill at Linkin Park or Accelerated playlist, yeah. But yeah, Magic Breaker is a purification tool, but yeah, it is more so the arm that is doing the sealing from what we gather, since it was still like Toma got given like mental instructions from Shokuho that to make him think that his arm was still attached, which prevented the fish eggs, or was it the fish eggs coming out? So people tend to say the arm is the seal, not the Magic Breaker, which is in the hand. I imagine Miskill likes the classical music. Yeah, because she plays violin, doesn't she? True. Being from rich girl school. Are most of the characters bilingual in English and Japanese? Yes. This is an interesting question because Kamachi does occasionally acknowledge this. Like in Genesis Testament 4, like Toma interacts with a girl that doesn't know Japanese, and there's like this translator pen that he uses which can like translate stuff into English pretty quickly. But yeah, a lot of the time, like everyone is just educated in Japanese, I guess, because of Academy City's prestige in the world, or they're like powerful enough to know like all human languages or whatever, like Ofness. But yeah, everyone in the Anglican Church just takes Japanese language class. Do. Do you play Ace Attorney? No, I do not. Although I watched the Boot to the Head meme video when I was young, and I thought that was hilarious. That's my knowledge of Ace Attorney. Another question: how important are Toma's lost memories really? Pretty important. Pretty important. I mean, it you know, it defines his character. I mean, are you more talking about the lost memories themselves, or are you talking about memory loss Toma? But either way, like, you know, there's some things that happened in Toma's past which he can't remember, which are important. And in New Testament 22 the lost memories are a plot point. So there's that. Well, I always thought like, oh, Toma's saying his memories are still in his heart is really corny, but like, I thought that was the cheesiest thing ever. But actually, like, you start to understand the significance behind that line, because it's referencing true will, like the Flemic concept of true will. Because obviously with Aleister Crowley and everything, it's Espers are modeled off true will and Flamer. So it's his greater purpose in life. Like, even though his memories are gone, he still has his greater purpose. And I feel like the memory loss was necessary for him to achieve his greater purpose. Which is deep. Very deep. Finished up GT13 today during his work. Didn't really like the beginning for how rushed and jumbled the story felt or went. Latter half when Toma finally confronted Corazon was great. Yeah, I feel like the Mazura stuff and Toma versus Corazon was the best parts of it. But I did like the build up to it personally. But you can watch my reviews on that if you fancy. What do you think? Is Toma going to end up with a harem or stick to one or not all? Personally, I wouldn't like the harem ending. And going off Kamachi's other work, like if we look at his other light novels that he's written and finished, I don't... Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, if you've read all of Kamachi's works, but I don't think he's had a harem ending. Correct me if I'm wrong. Malcolm would know. I think it's usually main guy gets with main girl. But with Index, it's like, who is the main girl? Is it Index or Misaka? So we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I mean, either he's... I honestly think that if Misaka wasn't popular, it would definitely be Index. But with how popular Misaka is, I feel like if he doesn't do it, then the internet is going to lose its shit. Well, yeah, like I always think like harem endings are kind of cringe. Not gonna lie. I mean, it'd be somewhat funny, but I think like taking the humor aspects aside of it, like I think it'd be just like, oh wow, okay. It just seems like just stupid to me. So I'm not a fan of harem endings generally. Like I'm a vanilla guy myself, you know. I like monogamy. Is that the word? I prefer, you know, love for one person, and it to be mutual. But yeah, I mean, if he does go harem ending, then you could say it's wish fulfillment. Then you can say Toma's a self-insert. Because, hey, he gets a pick of all these girls. To be honest, it should just be Kuroko. Kuroko is the main girl for Toma. But yeah. I'm looking forward to making that style video, I tell you. Well, should we talk about what is everyone's plans for tomorrow or the weekend? I don't know. Let me know. Or I might end it soon. It's getting a bit late. When are you going to explain why style isn't a bum? Well, yeah, I'm doing my defense video of him, so it's coming. It is coming soon-ish. I hope I finish it this weekend. To be honest, after this stream, I'll probably do some work on it before I sleep. Although, that being said, I do need a lot of sleep because I have been really fucking tired this week. Staying up late. Well, I say late, but I have to get up super early. Wait, no, arguments for style? Oh, hell yeah. I'm defending style. But I do not condone his actions in Genesis Testament 4 or 12. Like, him trying to kill Toma, No. That's asshole, but there's reasons for it, you know. There's reasons for it. It makes sense with his character, in my opinion. And I will explain why. I feel like Style is a good character. Like, well written, I mean. But he has the asshole persona. Well, he's definitely taking it too far. Do you think Accelerator will actually reach... Oh, excuse me. Level 6 in the series? Yeah, I think it's possible before the series ends. Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's probably close to being there. I mean, I say that, but he's got you know, a lot of support from the network. I'd say it might be easy for him to start a transformation, maybe, if he really wanted to. Look, Style is just a 14-year-old kid. He's just a baby. Yeah, he is, but it's interesting. I mean, you'll see in the video. I don't want to like say all the points I'm gonna make here that I will make in the video. Otherwise, there'd be no point in watching it. So, yeah, I'm not gonna go into the specifics about why I defend Style. It's not just because I cosplay him, I swear. But I do feel like hopefully I've done a good job doing so. But you will see. Yep. Anyway, I feel like we have come to a conclusion here. I'm getting a little bit tired, so I'm going to go to sleep soon. But yeah, thanks guys for watching. Appreciate you all. Stay tuned for more videos and streams. And yeah, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.